We have protection on top of the protection on top of the protection for the protection. I like to buy new cars. So that's not a very intelligent financial decision to be buying all these new cars. But I like to buy new cars because I know where it's been. And of course, the dealership is instructed to not touch the car. I want to be there when it arrives on the truck. I want to pull the wrap off of the car. I don't want them touching it, because inevitably the lowest paid guy in the dealership is the guy that has a bucket and a chamois, and he's the one wiping down your car after the 12 other cars that he's cleaned. So I don't want him scratching it up. So I have a very specific process, which takes a lot of time to convince the dealership, look, I'll give you 5 stars if you just let me take the car without you doing your thing to it. In 2016, it was devastating to me that I couldn't get a GT3 RS. My dealership has much wealthier people than I that are ahead of me in line. So I'm pretty high up the list, but not high enough to get one. And so in 2016, I had to then start pursuing a used GT3 RS. Now, I did buy one with 712 miles on it, but I kid you not, I still get in this thing to this day and it feels a little bit tainted. Like I feel a little bit violated. It's like my wife had, too many boyfriends before me. That kind of feeling is what I get. I don't even want to know what happened in those 712 miles, but I start to build these fantasies of what could have happened. That the car could have maybe driven to red line once or twice. That would have been bad. The guy may have washed it with improper washing procedures. Who knows? Untold stories of horror could have happened in those 712 miles that I just can't get over. The 700 miles on it really was maintained well, but it didn't have PPF, paint protection film. It didn't have a wax or a coating or anything on it. So next level, multi-step correction / paint protection film / we have protection on top of the protection on top of the protection for the protection. So we have PPF, which is coated, and then we coated the coating and then coated that coating, and then some instances where I've put protection over top of the PPF, like around the stone chip area, and then when I was putting those on, I'm like, well, I should probably coat those stone guards. And so yeah, next level, 100 man hours on that car, something like that, to get it dialed in. So this perception of me is that my car is always clean, but and that is a true perception, because that's in my brain, that's what I want to happen. I made the mistake when I was in college. I decided I wanted to move to Orlando because that seemed like a great place to go, way better than northeastern Pennsylvania. And so I packed my Civic Si and my big screen TVs and I just rolled to Central Florida. What I didn't realize is Central Florida is probably the worst place in the world to maintain a vehicle. It rains every day. There are more bugs than you could possibly imagine because it's basically the tropics. Let's just say, for example, I'm out driving my now white GT3 and I just washed it. And I'm driving to, let's say it's Cars and Coffee. And of course, Cars and Coffee start early, so usually the sun isn't up. And so you're going to get absolutely destroyed by bugs. Now, if I was in Southern California, or actually if I was in Ohio in the summer, you could probably drive the Cars and Coffee and your car isn't destroyed. But in Central Florida, we don't have a choice. And so here comes the struggle. So I'm driving my car. Everybody believes that my car should be clean. And so now comes the panic. Okay. Do I wipe it down and risk scratching it? Do I just ride raw, show up with the bugs all over it? What do you do? And inevitably you see the guy with one microfiber towel wiping the entire car, usually from the bottom up, just scratching the crap out of it, spraying all kinds of wax and stuff. And I'm looking at that guy, I'm judging him. I'm thinking, man, I'm not going to be that guy. But I have this internal struggle because I have all the gear. In the front, I've got a gallon of waterless wash. I've got 37 microfiber towels of different varying densities, thicknesses, and depending on the situation, the type of bug. Now, I never touch the car. I end up usually just go raw, right? I leave it raw. But the whole entire time, like I'll be having a conversation with someone, but I'm just looking through them. Like I don't even see them in the conversation because I'm thinking about, should I go and pop the hood of the front trunk and wipe the bugs off? Should I do it? If I'm going to do that, am I going to use O&R? Am I going to use OptiClean? What product am I going to use to get these bugs off, and which towel? And so the guy told me his name, he's telling me his life story, and I don't hear a word of it. And so then finally, Cars and Coffee is over and we're going to drive home. But it starts raining. And keep in mind, I just spent 2.5 hours the night before preparing this car for Cars and Coffee, cleaning it, hoping that I could get a week out of it before I needed to clean it again. But it then has a torrential downpour for 30 seconds, just enough to get the dirt all over your car. So now what do? Do I wash it? Do I ruin the rest of my Sunday afternoon because I'd already spent the entire Saturday preparing the car, but do I spend Sunday afternoon now washing it again just for this vicious cycle to happen? Do I do that? Or do I do some other maybe quicker wash, but again, I don't want to scratch it, and so I spend all this time struggling with, and I'm sure many car guys do this. Do you wipe it down? Do you wash it? Do you drive it raw for the week? Because what I would really love to do is just leave it dirty, and it'd be beautiful, and drive it like it's meant to be. But the entire week, so I won't wash it because I don't want to get in trouble with the family, with my wife, because I just spent the last 2 days preparing for this event where the car got trashed. And so then inevitably I have the whole week where I'm miserable with the car because it's dirty. And I should have washed it on Sunday. I should have risked life and limb and my future marriage and just said, look, I've got to get this thing clean. I'm thinking to myself. So it's just like the first 45 minutes in Cars and Coffee are miserable. Now the next week of my life is miserable because I should have washed the darn thing. I should have just washed it. And then right around Friday, I start to see the light because Saturday, I'm going to wash it. And so for about 35 seconds, I'm enjoying driving the car and not thinking about what I'm going to do because I just hit the epiphany. All right, Saturday at 2 p.m., I'm going to start washing it and I'll be done by 5 p.m. Actually, what I'll tell my wife is it's only going to take 30 minutes. But inevitably, I come out to the wash bay and I got to wipe the counter. I got to prepare to wash. Right, so I got to wipe the counters down. I usually end up reorganizing an already organized cabinet of some sort. I'm generally going to top off some of the bottles that are looking a little low of rubber cleaner, tire cleaner, or whatever product I'm using. Usually the soap, I've got to fill up the dispensing bottle. I still haven't figured out why I don't just use the gallon and go right into the bucket. No, I've got to put the gallon into the dispensing bottle. Then a dispensing bottle can can dispense the liquid. Once I get that all prepared, then I'll usually look out at the car that I just positioned. I'm like, well, it's a little off to the right. So I'll get in the car and I'll back it up and I'll pull it into place and say, okay, now it's good. And then I'll go and start to set up the gear and I'll look again and say, it was better before the way it was. So I'll get back in the car, back it up and move it over another 3 inches to the left. And so then when I start washing, so you start with the wheels first. Everybody knows that, or so I thought. And despite my obsession with clean wheels, I hate doing it. I actually hate washing cars. You'd think I would have chosen a better profession if I hate washing cars. What I love is the result at the end. So the wheels are done, then I'll spray the car off with my pressure washer. Then I'll transition from that to foaming the car. You know how you see that's all the rage today? You foam the car down with some soap, and then I fill up my rinse buckets. I've taken quite a bit of heat for this, but I actually, believe it or not, have a $345 set of buckets. One for wash, one for rinse, and then the third bucket would have been for your wheels. We clean the car, using as little pressure as possible with a really fancy microfiber pad. After that, I switch to, on the fly, switch to deionized water, filtered water, rinse the car down, and then generally I'll blow it off with a leaf blower, some sort of drying device, blow air on it to blow the water out of all the cracks. We'll use a drying aid to add another layer of protection on it, so we'll clean the whole exterior, dry the whole exterior with extra care. Then you got to do all the jams, and then we would generally do the glass, so clean the exterior glass. I don't eat cheeseburgers on the interior, so my interior is usually pretty clean, but I'll vacuum out the carpets real quickly and then wipe it down. So I usually spend about 5 minutes on the interior. It should be the opposite because you spend all your time in the interior, but I don't know, I like the paint to be shiny. And then from there you got to dry off the wheels and put some sort of drying aid or protectant on them, and then I'll dry the tires, and then I'll dress the tires, and then I'll come back and wipe the tires, and then we'll do an assessment after the fact and dig into, did I miss anything? And then I'll pull the car. I have a car capsule showcase, a bubble. I pull it into the bubble. It's a bubble of air. And usually what I'll do is then I'll let the car sit for a week because I can't emotionally recover from the previous week of all the prep, all the destroying, all the wishing that I washed it, and then the 30 seconds of enjoyment, and then I'll wash it and I'll park it for the next week so that I can recharge from that emotional battle that I think everybody thinks that my car is dirty, when the perception of me is that it's always clean, and it rarely ever is. It's clean for that, that minute after you're done washing, but in Central Florida, as soon as you drive away, it's destroyed. And I'm getting closer to coming to the realization of maybe having an actual full day of enjoyment of the car in a period of a 7-day week. Maybe we'll get there someday.
Shrewd negotiation starts with finding the right car, and the best way to do that is with Autotempest.com. Autotempest allows you to compare the results from Craigslist nationally with all the top listing sites. So visit Autotempest.com today and see where your next dream car is hiding.